majority of us are only using a small portion of our full potential. Did you know that? That is correct. There is a reservoir of unrealized strength and potential hidden behind the daily grind, the never-ending to-do list, and the ease of routine. It's similar, like finding an old, dusty lamp in your attic, only to find out later that it's actually a treasure trove. This is the type of rut that occasionally ambushes us all. This is where things become fascinating, though. We are not merely passive viewers of our life, according to Stoic philosophy. The architects are us. Our potential is a strong force that is molded moment by our choices and actions, according to Stoicism. Realizing your potential is insufficient. You must breathe it, live it, and make decisions that are consistent with it each and every day. Let's now take a moment to be realistic. You're not the only one who feels like you're not reaching your full potential. It's a typical emotion. However, frequent does not equate to harmless. Really, it's a reminder that it's time to wake up, to begin living your life with purpose and intention after shedding the dust of complacency. You may aim for the stars instead of settling for simply getting by. Why do we become stuck then? We frequently do it to prevent discomfort. Because routines and well-known routes are safe, we follow them. However, Stoicism challenges us to see beyond our comfort zone, to observe the development that results from facing challenges and going above and beyond our comfort zones. It's about taking initiative and meeting life head-on with bravery and fortitude. This goes beyond simply surviving. The goal is to thrive. Consider this. You have a choice every day. You have the choice to either stay the same or take a tiny move in the direction of something bigger. It's not about making huge leaps or being successful overnight. It involves steady, gradual work. Indeed, it's difficult. It is uncomfortable, indeed. But if it means reaching your full potential, isn't a little discomfort worth it? We are delving into that today. How to emerge from mediocrity's shadow and into your own potential's light. How to lead a life that is full of accomplishment, purpose, and genuine fulfillment, rather than just any life. And I'll ask for a small, free favor if you value what we're doing here. Press the subscribe button. Let's talk about how to make each day a demonstration of your true potential. No more justifications. Don't wait for the ideal time any longer. It begins right now. The reality of mediocrity. Let's discuss a trap that many of us unknowingly fall into. Mediocrity. Life is wrapped in a silent, creeping fog that may go unnoticed until you're fully submerged. Instead of striving for greatness, it's settling for good enough. Shaming ourselves or others for not being overachievers is also not the point. It's about figuring out when we're not reaching our full potential. You see, being mediocre is more than just settling for the bottom echelons of your ability or failing to succeed. It is more subtle. It manifests in the justifications we use for our inability to proceed, the postponement of activities that could result in progress, and the comfort zone that prevents us from taking on new difficulties. It's either I'm not good at this, or I'll start on Monday. These insignificant yet harmless ideas and deeds are what solidify a mediocre existence. But the Stoics had a potent remedy for this condition. They aimed to achieve an extraordinary level of moral and intellectual self-mastery by living virtuously and rationally, to To them, living a moral life meant striving to be the best version of oneself. They set out to transform challenges into opportunities and saw every adversity as an opportunity to put values like wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice into practice. This Stoic way of thinking can change our perspective on an approach to mediocrity. It involves questioning yourself if my actions are motivated by habit or free will. Can I do more? Or is this really all I am capable of? The purpose of these inquiries is to arouse rather than to condemn. They serve as reminders to think before acting more purposefully. Living stoically is living consciously. We make decisions that are in line with our highest good and most genuine selves, not merely what is simple or comfortable. So, how can we escape the mediocrity trap? Awareness is the first step. Recognize when you are settling for less than you deserve or are capable of. Perhaps your enthusiasm has faded and you are doing the bare minimum at work. Alternatively, you may avoid a deeper connection in your relationships because you are afraid of being vulnerable. Or it can be in your own objectives, which you have placed on hold indefinitely. Challenge these areas when you've identified them, not all at once, but gradually. Make goals that make you a little nervous. Speak with someone who motivates you. Take on a project that will force you to develop and learn. Consistent, small-step effort is crucial. Indeed, there will be setbacks and failures. But keep in mind that, as the Stoics teach, our opinions about events are what bother us, not the events themselves. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, adapt, and try again with more knowledge and determination, not to mention the company we maintain. Ambition and growth are contagious, just like mediocrity. Be in the company of individuals who push you, support you, and help you succeed. A strong catalyst for change is community. In an environment that values quality, it will be difficult for you to stay stagnant. Get rid of your inner critic. Everybody has that voice in their head that feeds off their worries and casts doubts. Like a persistent friend, its favorite pastime is to talk us out of our goals and desires. However, the truth is that your inner critic does not have to control your life. It's time to regain control, to stop doubting yourself, and to change how you interact with yourself. The Stoics had an intriguing method for addressing the inner monologue that prevents us from moving forward. They taught us that our thoughts shouldn't bother us because they don't accurately reflect who we are. All they are fleeting impressions. Rather, they urged us to examine our first responses to situations, to contest the veracity of those unfavorable rumors, and to react with virtue and reason. At this point, practicing prosage or paying attention becomes essential. It entails paying attention to our thoughts and the conclusions we draw from them to make sure they reflect our actual selves and goals. Now, consider how many times you have heard yourself say, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or I'm just not cut out for this." Your inner critic is using these remarks to keep you within your comfort zone. However, as we know from Stoic wisdom, discomfort is the seed of progress. You give yourself the ability to question and alter these ideas by acknowledging that they are only opinions and not facts. How can your inner critic be practically killed? Begin by looking at your ideas from a distance. Stop and think when a negative notion comes to mind. Does this idea help? Does it fit my objectives? Is it a fear-driven emotional reaction or a logical one? The Stoic exercise of reflection served as the inspiration for this technique, which enables you to step back from destructive self-criticism and react with a more logical, caring viewpoint. Let's also discuss the influence of opposing viewpoints. Actively create a constructive thought for each critical one that comes up. Say something like, "I have prepared as best as I can, and I will learn from whatever comes." In response to your thoughts that you will fail, reality isn't being sugar-coated here. It's about offering a fair assessment that takes into account your advantages and skills. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to welcome difficulties as chances to hone and strengthen our qualities. Therefore, take advantage of the chance to exercise bravery and tenacity when your inner critic attempts to talk you out of taking on a project. Every time you face a fear or doubt, you make your dedication to personal excellence stronger and your inner critic less powerful. Creating an environment that supports your new way of thinking is also beneficial, whether they are statements from your favorite Stoic thinkers, recollections of your prior achievements, or straightforward affirmations of your value and potential. Surround yourself with affirmations. These assist muffle the voices of your inner critic and act as continual reminders of your root. Finally, keep in mind that quieting your inner critic is a process rather than a one-time occurrence. It takes a lot of self-compassion, perseverance, and patience. It's acceptable to make mistakes. It's crucial that you continue to go forward, confront those pessimistic ideas, and match your behavior to your actual potential. Accept the discomfort. Although the phrase, "stepping out of your comfort zone," is overused in self-help books and motivational posters, it actually has a lot of truth, particularly when examined from a Stoic perspective. In addition to being philosophers, the Stoics were also life practitioners who valued putting one's spirit to the test in the face of adversity. They maintained that we discover our actual strength in the conflict. Let's examine this in more concrete terms. There is more to discomfort than just emotional or physical stress. It's about facing the aspects of life that you naturally want to stay away from. It may be as easy as getting up an hour earlier to work out or meditate, or it could be as difficult as speaking out during a meeting when you'd prefer to stay silent. In reality, these uncomfortable times are chances, golden tickets to the kind of personal development that brings about long-lasting transformation. Making the conscious decision to be uncomfortable is a very revolutionary act. You are communicating to the world and to yourself that you're not satisfied with staying the same. You're emulating the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, in which you may decide to dress simply, eat simply, or expose yourself to the cold, not as a form of punishment, but as a reminder that you are stronger than you realize, and that you can cope with less than ideal circumstances. This controlled acceptance of discomfort has the advantage of preparing you for life's unforeseen obstacles. Consider it. You may develop resilience like a muscle if you make it a habit to push your boundaries in little regular ways. You will then be more prepared to deal with life's challenges when they arise, such as losing your job, receiving a painful diagnosis, or experiencing a personal setback. Because you have repeatedly practiced standing up, you are not readily knocked down. Furthermore, Stoicism emphasizes that our character is shaped by our repeated acts rather than just our thoughts. You are creating a more resilient, courageous, and astute version of yourself every time you decide to venture into discomfort. These traits build up over time, creating a character that not only overcomes obstacles but flourishes as a result. Start modest to begin incorporating this practice into your life. Name one item you've been avoiding because it's difficult or uncomfortable. Decide to address it this week. Maybe it's committing to a public speaking engagement in spite of your dread of crowds, or starting a challenging conversation you've been putting off. Observe the opposition that arises, the defenses, the explanations, and gently remind yourself that you are resilient and adaptable. It is important to keep this attitude of curiosity and non-judgment when doing this. Pay attention to your feelings prior to, during, and following the encounter. What did you discover? In what ways did the challenge alter your perspective? In what ways has your self-perception evolved? The lessons gained from each uncomfortable experience are reinforced by these reflections, which is why they are so important. It's important to keep in mind that accepting discomfort does not mean torturing oneself or seeking out suffering for its own sake. It involves gradually extending your boundaries in ways that improve your life and strengthen your character. It's about living according to Stoic values, which prioritize resilience and progress over ease and comfort. This method does more than merely get you ready for life's obstacles. It turns them into the experiences that mold a brave, strong, and moral existence. Accountability and commitment. Accountability is one of your most effective personal growth strategies. It's similar to having a workout partner for your objectives. You are familiar with the sensation. You're much less likely to hit snooze or skip out when someone else is depending on you. Here's the twist, though. You have more than simply other people to answer to when you're trying to live your greatest life. The real growth occurs when you are primarily responsible to yourself. Self-discipline and personal accountability are highly valued in Stoicism. The Stoics held that the decisions we make determine our lives and character. They educate us to take responsibility for our decisions and to bravely and honorably deal with the fallout. This sense of accountability to oneself is essential since it serves as the foundation for all of your everyday activities and aspirations in life. Let's discuss ways to improve your sense of responsibility. Making your goals visible is the first step. Put them in writing wherever you can see them every day, not in a secret diary stashed away in a drawer. It may be a digital reminder that appears on your phone, a note on your refrigerator, or even a large whiteboard in your room. Being visible keeps your commitments front and center and serves as a reminder of them. Next, incorporate frequent progress check-ins. You may sit down and ask yourself some challenging questions as part of this weekly review. What did I manage to get done this week? Where did I fail? What can I do better in the future? The purpose of these sessions is not to punish oneself for failures or missed goals. Rather, they serve as chances for candid, helpful introspection, a practice that has its roots in Stoic philosophy. Self-reflection and learning from every action and result were central to the Stoic philosophy. Talking to someone else about your objectives might help increase your dedication Select a mentor, family member, or even a friend, someone who will not only encourage you, but also point you out when you're not on the right path. This adds a level of accountability from outside sources, which may be quite inspiring. It's about establishing a social compact that makes you feel obligated to fulfill the expectations of others, which in turn makes you more determined to fulfill your own. Imagining the ideal version of yourself is a Stoic technique that can be especially useful in addition to incorporating others. One of the well-known Stoic thinkers, Seneca, advocated regularly reflecting on one's greatest potential. You establish a mental standard for your behavior by consistently visualizing yourself as the person you want to be. Regularly ask yourself, does my current behavior reflect the qualities of the person I aspire to be? Your daily decisions and endeavors are guided by this mental modeling, which serves as a North Star. The importance of establishing a structure that incentivizes your advancement cannot be understated. The awards only need to recognize your efforts and accomplishments. They don't need to be lavish. This could be as easy as buying that little item you've had your eye on for a long, taking a day off to unwind, or treating yourself to your favorite meal. Because, let's face it, the road to self-improvement can be difficult and demanding. Rewards serve to both reinforce great behavior and make the journey enjoyable. Your network is what makes you wealthy. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, goes the saying. There is more truth to this adage than you might initially think. Our attitudes, actions, and success are greatly influenced by the people in our lives. However, success in the traditional sense isn't the only factor. It's about developing oneself, gaining knowledge, and creating a fulfilling and character-rich existence. Since the Stoics recognized that people are social beings by nature, they placed a high value on connections and community. Numerous subtle and subconscious ways exist for us to influence one another. Renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca suggested that we choose friends who exhibit the qualities we want to cultivate, since their qualities will inevitably influence us. We are more likely to become intelligent, moral, and purpose-driven ourselves if we surround ourselves with such others. Consider the individuals you spend the most time with. Are they resilient, hopeful, and ambitious? Do they make you reevaluate your preconceptions, stretch your limits, and think beyond the box? Or do they foster negativity, oppose change, and maintain the status quo? It's critical to evaluate these evaluations honestly and determine whether your circle is advancing or impeding your progress. Building a strong network does not require you to begin mercilessly removing individuals from your life. Rather, it's about making the deliberate choice to spend more time with people who encourage you and help you develop. This may entail getting in touch with mentors, joining clubs or groups that share your interests, or simply interacting online with people who share your interests. Engaging with individuals who not only support your goals, but also push you to achieve them is crucial. Additionally, Stoicism teaches us the value of giving back to the community. Relationships are about more than simply what you may gain. They are also about what you can contribute. Offering assistance, imparting knowledge, and really celebrating the accomplishments of others are all part of being a productive member of your network. Your relationships will become richer and have a greater influence on your life the more you put into them. This idea of reciprocal development is essential. You should try to encourage everyone around you while you work to be the best version of yourself. Simple acts like lending a sympathetic ear, offering support during trying times, or sharing resources that have benefited, you can accomplish this. Every one of these activities improves your relationships and creates a network that is not only useful but also significant. Keep in mind that your network is not limited to your family and friends. It encompasses everyone you encounter at events and conferences, as well as your coworkers and acquaintances. Every encounter is a chance to make a good impression and learn something new. By approaching every discussion with respect and curiosity, qualities that the Stoics greatly valued, you will discover that creating a solid network is a fulfilling task in and of itself. There you have it. Keep in mind that adopting Stoic ideas and pursuing personal development are about more than just bettering on oneself. It's about changing the way you engage with the outside world and those in your immediate vicinity. I appreciate you joining me in this investigation of wisdom and character development, and for being a part of Stoic Journal. To continue your trip and expand your knowledge of Stoic life, watch the recommended video on the screen. If you thought this one to be instructive, your life will become more durable and moral with each step you take. Continue moving forward, and let's develop as a team.